Have you ever felt like the more aware you become, the harder it is to connect with others? Like the deeper your thoughts go, the more distant the world feels? You're not imagining it. In fact, the struggle you're facing is almost inevitable. Deep thinkers live in a world that runs on noise, and silence, reflection, and awareness are foreign languages to most people. We live in a society that celebrates quick answers over uncomfortable questions, that rewards confidence over clarity, and that praises certainty, even when it's hollow. But when you begin to question, truly question not just what's happening around you, but within you, something shifts. You start noticing things others don't, patterns, inconsistencies, contradictions between what people say and what they truly mean. This awareness is powerful, but also isolating, because once your mind opens, you can't unsee, you can't unknow, and most people, they don't want to see, they want comfort, not truth. From ancient sages to modern philosophers, history has always made one thing clear: deep thinking is rarely welcome in real time. It's only celebrated long after it's been ignored. Whether it was Confucius, who warned about empty rituals, or Kierkegaard, who spoke of despair masked by smiles, those who think deeply often find themselves misunderstood, not because their ideas are too complex, but because they disrupt the illusion. They pause the performance everyone else is caught up in. But why does this happen? Why does the pursuit of inner truth, something so noble, often lead to outer disconnection? The answer lies in human psychology. When someone walks into a room with physical strength, people feel impressed. When someone flaunts wealth, they may trigger envy, but it usually doesn't feel personal. But when someone enters with clarity of thought, with a presence rooted in observation, insight, and stillness, it stirs discomfort. Why? Because a deep thinker doesn't challenge your job or your appearance, they challenge your assumptions. And that's the one thing the ego refuses to let go of easily. Think of it like this: we build our identities not just from who we are, but from what we believe. And when someone questions those beliefs directly or indirectly, our minds don't interpret it as curiosity, they interpret it as a threat. That's why silence makes people nervous. That's why deep questions get brushed off. And that's why many thoughtful people find more connection in books than in conversations. But here's the paradox. Even though society resists deep thought, it needs it more than ever. In a world saturated with distractions, the thinker becomes a mirror, and mirrors don't lie, they reveal. Not everyone wants that. Most people want validation, not revelation. And so the thinker becomes the outsider, not because they've rejected the world, but because the world rejects reflection. So what can you do? If you raise someone who thinks deeply, if you've ever felt like your mind works on a different frequency, don't suppress it to fit in, because fitting in often requires shrinking down. Instead, honor your depth, not by forcing it on others, but by living it fully, even if quietly. Share what you can, withdraw when you must, and most of all, remember that isolation isn't always a punishment. Sometimes it's a space being carved for something more honest, more lasting, more you. Because while the world may not always understand deep thinkers, it is often their quiet ripples that change it most.